So the time has come finally to rebuild this final drive transmission thing. I was waiting on something that I'm going to use as a tool, which I'll show you in a minute. But that arrived through the post yesterday, so it is now time. I'm going to start by removing these brake pads that I installed earlier. Get them out of the way. So, we got to try and remove that ring with a hexagonal hole in it there, because inside here is all full of crunchy shite, basically. I saw Noped Thursday do it. Now there is a tool that costs about 50 quid, something like that, that'll do it. But Noped Thursday used one of those sort of tubular spanner things, tubular socket sort of fit. It's basically just a flimsy metal tube in a hexagonal shape that goes around a nut, and if you get the right size one, it goes in there. Well, I didn't fancy buying a set of those, and from my experience they are fairly flimsy anyway, but I had an idea. This is an M14 threaded bar joiner. It's basically a long bolt, a long nut, sorry. I've stamped QT into it, so I don't use it for anything else. But it's 22mm externally, flat to flat. Brilliant. So I can literally just put a socket on there now, and it should come undone, in theory. Don't know how tight they are there, or if they're reverse threaded. Christ, there's a bit of tension on that. Might be an impact job. There we go. Yeah, Noped Thursday is fantastic. He knows everything, it seems. But I thought that was a nicer way of doing it than using the long socket thing. Right, so that's off. Let's take this cover off with my screwdriver. Ah yes, I've not had this cover off yet, because this is the one from the red bike, so I'll have to get my impact, I think, impact screwdriver. Okay, so we've got it rested on two wooden blocks. It is quite annoying that every screw on this thing seems to need impacting off. I'm going to be replacing most or all of them with Allen heads. But I don't know if I've got the right size for this yet, I'll have to check. Need something to stop it rocking backwards and forwards, I think. Oh fuck, we got one of them off. Yes! Finally. Okay, that's the screws loosened off. Get them out and fling them over a rainbow. It's actually got plenty of grease on it, so that's good. I won't bother cleaning that off because it feels pretty alright, really. Plenty in there. I might actually clean that off and redo it, but we'll see. So, one bearing. Yeah, that's feeling a bit crunchy. I was going to say it actually looks alright and could probably be washed out, but I might as well. I've got fresh ones, so let's do that. So there's also a spacer in there. Which looks like that. And then it looks like I can just pull the pinion out, complete with an O-ring thing to stop it going in too far. Right, excellent. I think I'm going to need a bearing puller if I'm changing that, but it seems okay. Is that an NTN? Let's get a rag. That's a Koyo, the other one's an NTN, which makes me think that this one hasn't been changed and the other one has. So I might as well, I think, possibly, although it does feel totally fine, so if it turns out to be a pain I won't bother. Took the grease out anyway, why not? Get rid of that seal. These bearings actually feel really good, although they are the actual wheel bearings. So I'm in two minds if I should replace those. I'm probably going to end up replacing everything, so I might as well, hadn't I? Let's see what bearings I've got. So apparently these bearings here are 6202, of which I have 2. In fact, I got 4. I got enough for the other one as well. And it does say QT50 ring gear, which is nice. And the ones out of here are 6201. Got some nice Koyo ones. So they're all getting replaced. Two 10mm bolts. This is what fasteners are supposed to be like. Just come straight undone. None of this JIS stuff. One spacer with a bearing each side. Let's double check they are 6202s. Yep, so they're sorted. The ones coming out are Koyo. So just got to get that last bearing out the bottom. Be a bit naughty with my fancy Milwaukee ratchet set, but it does the job. What a heathen. Right, so this is a bare case now. The only bit still attached really is the brake cam. So if I take that off without breaking it, hopefully, and then dunk the whole thing in petrol. I should be able to clean it up. Let's get it everywhere. This is just old fuel from when I've bought a bike and it's had fuel sat in it for years. And some of it's fuel from bikes that have had their fuel tanks contaminated with rust. So hence the colour. But it does a great job of dissolving grease. I think we need a new bearing on there too, don't we? So that thing's not sounding great, so I've got my bearing puller, but it needs two of these bolts to use the actual bearing bit, and I can only find one. So these go like that, and then it pushes down on this end and pulls this bearing off, but unfortunately those need to bolt together with these, and I've only got one, so I'll have to buy some more bolts that fit, I suppose. In the meantime, it does have another function as a leg puller, so we'll have to see if I can get that doing anything useful. At least it's easier to set up. Don't forget to put the centre in it, since there's the dimple in the end of the shaft. That should keep it aligned. Please don't pop off. Try and get these as vertical as possible. Lovely. Right, let's get that cleaned up. Okay, so everything's set out, ready to go. I've got some grease. Let's start putting it back together. So, let's start with this, I think. The same as the other ones? Yep. So this tool is for installing, I think, head bearings on bicycles. If I can squeeze it in a bit more, it'll be about the right size to hammer onto there. So I'll get a cable tie around it, I think is the best bet. Perfect. Do it on a wood block, probably. So the idea, I've said this loads of times, but the idea is to, when you're installing a bearing, tap it by the inner race, because if you tap it by the outer race, the weak part is where the BBs are inside. So you're likely to damage it. That's going on slowly. Good job I used a bit of wood. What I probably should have done was heated up the bearing. That was silly, wasn't it? We'll get it there. Also, the bearing's got the plastic shielding on it, rubber shielding, so that wouldn't have worked anyway. got a plan that's less destructive. Not that I've damaged anything, it's all perfectly fine, but I shouldn't have to use that much force. Okay, so I've got it set up in the vise with a socket that just goes on the inner race, and hopefully I should be able to squeeze it together with that. This is just to protect the metal. How well you can see that, but it is going. I think it's probably hit a stop now though, because it's not hollow all the way through, so I reckon the end of the shaft now has hit it. Nope, bit more to go. We're getting close. I think we're there. Now we're there. Perfect. Not lost the O-ring, that's good. The O-ring in the bottom of here. Like so. This bad boy. That's struggling to go as well. The spacer will help. So these bearings are a lot tighter fit than the old ones. That's not ideal. Right, back on with the same spanner again, I suppose. Actually, no, we want to get the outer race now, don't we? So we need something larger. I suppose that will do it. No. Not as easy as I thought this. This old 24 should fit. Yep, we're in. Yeah, we're going. Yeah, that's right in there now. You can't really see in there, but it's right up against the edge. Spacer and the other bearing. (6201) 2RS. Let's hope that. Nope, that's not going in either. Excellent. With the trusty 24 again. It's going to be fun getting that out again in future, isn't it? Well, that feels lovely. Just check it's all the way in. Yeah, that's solid. Because they're sealed bearings, they shouldn't get so much junk in them like the last one did. That will do. This thing's been awesome. That was a great idea. Well done me. Okay, so let's see how these bearings fit. Nice and easy over there. You're pressing into there. Let's bring you down a bit. Right, next up, I need to try and bash this in nice and level, which it currently is not. Need a block of wood, really. Got one here with some strange damage on it. I don't know where that came from. Needs to be down at this edge. And when I'm hitting it with the hammer, I'm only striking the outer edge of the bearing. So again, don't want to get in the middle. Right. Other bearing. SKF 6202 2RSH. Apparently SKF, even though that packaging doesn't look that convincing, but I believe them. So, got some lithium grease next. Plenty of it. We're going all the way around these teeth I've just cleaned. Don't be shy with it. So in here we need the spacer and the bearing, which goes in somewhat easier, he said. Oh God, why? There it goes. Lovely. This thing. Lovely. The shaft. And this thing. Putting these screws back in for now. I'm going to order some more screws. Then it's going to get a lick of paint, so I'm leaving these seals off for now. There it is, done. Lovely stuff. On to the next job.